Hi, my name is Patric Gagne, author of the book Sociopath, a Memoir. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what life is like as a sociopath. What being a sociopath means is very different than what most people think it means. A sociopath is very different from a psychopath. Psychopaths are believed to suffer from biological abnormalities that make it impossible for them to move through complex emotional development. So while they are capable of learning inherent or having inherent emotions like joy, sadness, anger, they are incapable of learning the so-called social emotions. These include love, empathy, guilt, shame. That is different from sociopathy. As sociopaths, we are capable of learning the social emotions. We just learn them a bit differently. In the book, I describe this as an emotional learning disability. But the biggest difference between sociopathy and psychopathy is that sociopathy can be treated. I can't think of a way that being a sociopath hasn't affected my life. As someone who is on the low emotional side of the spectrum, living in a high emotional world has its challenges. For a long time, I felt othered. I felt as though I couldn't just be myself. I had to fake emotions that I either wasn't having or was having on a more limited scale. And it impacted the way that I felt about myself and the world around me. I think the most important part of my journey was when I finally allowed myself to accept that there's nothing inherently immoral about having limited access to emotion. It's not what we feel, it's what we do. And that normalization of feeling is what really allowed me to take control of my destructive behaviors and lead a better life. Although I don't practice as a therapist any longer, I recall when I was earning my PhD and working with people in order to accrue requisite hours necessary for that PhD. I enjoyed it. I wasn't thinking that I would, but I found learning about the other personality types to be a gift that I wasn't expecting, but was very happy to have received. I find that my lower capacity for emotion allows me to sit with others at sometimes really dangerous or harmful or sad times of their life and help them process those emotions and observe them from an objective space and not an emotional space. Sociopathy has affected my relationships in much the same way that any personality disorder is going to affect a relationship. It's all about open communication, knowing what you are and are not capable of, and being given the space to express yourself, even if that way is separate from your partner or your friends. I've been very fortunate that I have really supportive friends and a supportive husband and family members who have given me the space and understand that the way that I feel isn't wrong, it's just different. The hardest part about living as a sociopath was the time when I felt I couldn't be honest about who I was and how I experienced the world. I found myself masking and mimicking other people, and it was exhausting. And I think that's relatable. I think that anyone who lives their lives in the shadows or isn't comfortable exposing or living their authentic life struggles. And I certainly can relate to that struggle, but I'm grateful that I experienced it because my ability to relate to that struggle has contributed to my ability to learn and grow empathy. And so I'm grateful. The best thing about living with sociopathy, from my perspective, is not being influenced by shame or guilt in my decision making. I understand that those constructs can be helpful, but they can also be harmful. I see my friends and family members who really struggle with guilt, and I wish I could lend them some of my sociopathy from time to time, and they do too. It's important for me to increase visibility surrounding sociopathy because there are no resources or treatment plans that are currently widely available. I wrote Sociopath because I wanted others like me to feel seen. I remember what it feels like to be someone living on the periphery, not knowing what's wrong, not knowing how to fix it. In order to treat something, you have to be able to identify it. And right now, a lot of neurodivergent personality types don't have any proper identification. I wrote Sociopath in an attempt to bridge that gap and shift the narrative. Thanks for watching. Sociopath is out now. Go get it.